How many days old do you think my hair is? It's 3 days old. In this video, I'm going to show you how to revive and refresh 1, 2, 3-day-old hair. You pick however many days you're comfortable going between washing, but I'm going to show you what products I use, why I use them, just the essential tools you need to revive your hair so it looks fresh and bouncy and volumized for restyling without washing. So first up, if you're not wearing a shower cap when you get in the shower and you don't want to wash your hair, you're doing it wrong, girl. Put a shower cap on. All the steam and the mist and everything going on in the shower, even if you keep your head out of the way of the water, is going to affect your hair. It's going to cause frizz. It's going to make your curls go limp if you've curled it. It's going to make straight hair have a weird bend to it. Just put a shower cap on. So I always do that. I pull my hair into a ponytail. I put a shower cap on. So I've obviously been out of the shower because I did my makeup, but at this point, I would take off the shower cap. Usually the edges of my hair would be a little bit damp, which is okay. And I have my hair just in a soft scrunchie in a messy bun right on top of my head. I prefer to pull it into a high bun to maybe encourage a little bit more volume again instead of pulling it low at my nape. I also can guarantee that like this part of my hair stays dry. Even if the edges get wet from the shower cap, I know that this part, which is the majority of it, stays dry. So then I would let the hair out of the hair tie and see what I'm working with here. So this is day 3 for me. What I'm going to do is put some dry shampoo spray. This is a new product from Bumble & Bumble. I'm actually trying it right here with y'all. It's the post-workout dry shampoo mist. I did do a yoga class this morning, so I did get a little sweaty on my scalp, but it's a mist. A lot of dry shampoos you'll find in an aerosol spray, they'll be dry. Some have like a little chalkiness to them. Others have no residue whatsoever. This is a wet mist, so I'm really intrigued to see how this works. And the directions on the back say you just spray it in about 6 inches, you give it a good shake, and then you spray it in about 6 inches from your head, let it sit for 30 seconds, and then you can just run your fingers through your hair or you can brush it out. What I'm gonna do is hit it with the blow dryer. I like to do that. Whether I'm using a dry shampoo or not, I like to hit my hair with the blow dryer on day 2, day 3, and honestly, a lot of times I don't even use dry shampoo. I don't really need it. My hair is dry, my scalp is dry, so sometimes the sweat is a welcomed addition to my dry skin. Okay, so this is a really nice mist. I'm going around my root area. I don't feel like it's making my hair too wet, and it smells really nice and floral. So I've put it in all at my roots. I'm gonna let it sit for about 30 seconds. You could do the same exact technique with whatever dry shampoo you have, or if you don't use dry shampoo, if you find you don't need it or you don't like it, whatever the reason is, just skip this part altogether, but do try using a blow dryer, even on completely dry hair, at your root area on day 2 or 3. It'll help revive whatever products you put in from previous days, and just kind of lift your hair back up again. So it's been about 30 seconds now. I'm grabbing my beloved Mason Pearson brush. Oh, this brush is a treasure. And my Dyson tool, I just have the blow dryer attachment. I honestly don't use this tool like ever, but I do use the blow dryer attachment. And I'm gonna brush through it with my Mason Pearson brush and see what I'm left with. So you can see I like to blow dry the hair forward and let it cool down for a second before I blow it back. That dry shampoo spray, or I guess it's post-workout mist, smells so good. All right, so I've got a little bit more lift on it. It feels clean still. It's got a little texture, which is how I like it. It doesn't feel like very fresh, silky hair, but I wasn't expecting that. But look at this, I have a nice lift on the root area. That's nice. Okay, so another thing that happens to me is my ends get dry. And I feel like we pay so much attention and focus so hard on the root area with all the dry shampoo, but you forget about your ends. And dry ends are really unattractive. So what I like to do is put a little oil on my ends. This is by Living Proof. It's the nourishing oil. I'll just do a pump. That much on my hands. Rub it together. The driest part of my hair is the back. So I start there and pull it forward. I'm focusing midway to ends. I don't need any oil at my scalp. Not only do I just generally not need oil there, but since I'm on day 3, I know my scalp has produced oil and that's going to start working its way down. So I really just want to add some health and softness back into my dry ends. I'm not just putting on like, okay, oil's done. You can see I'm really massaging it into the mid shaft to ends of my hair so it gets on every part. Okay, so my ends have been revived a little bit too. I'm really pleased with how my hair looks. I'm gonna hit it with a curling iron just to add a little bit more bend in there, but just a tip when you're curling for day 2 or 3 or 4, however many you go, you do you, girl. Leave your ends out. Usually they'll have at least a little bit of a bend left over. Some need some love, like this guy. But like see from here down, it looks okay. It's really from here up that it looks a little mushroomy. So when I'm curling, I'm just gonna focus on like the top half of the hair. And usually on day 2 or 3, I don't like to section off too much because I just wanna pick up the hair that really needs it instead of going through and curling every additional section. Some sections of my hair will hang on to a curl longer than others. So I'm grabbing my 1 1/4 inch. I'm gonna grab big sections. You can see I have a little flip here at the end. So all I'm gonna curl is that top part and then just let the ends do their things. So see how it looks like a full curl even though I left the ends totally out? I'm just recurling the part that sort of fell apart overnight and over the day yesterday. So this is a section that needs a little love, right? You can see the end there. Needs some help. I had my hair half up yesterday, so I'm gonna start at the root area, work the way down, and then I'm just gonna open the curling iron and let the heat of the iron run against it, pull it straight because I don't want it too curly, and then run my fingers through it. So you don't need to clamp down on your ends. Usually, just the action of the hair running against the barrel, especially at the ends, is enough to give it a little bend. So I'm going in at my root here, twisting away from my scalp. I'm seeing that the ends here are already bent nicely, so I'm just gonna let it go. Comb through it. And I've got a nice bend there on the end. So at this point, once I get to like behind my ear, I like to change up the direction of my curl. So I am curling toward my face now. And usually the under part of my hair is what needs the most fixing on day 2 or 3. This was the section that the ends look a little trashed. So at this point, I'm opening the iron and I'm just slowly smoothing it, and that is all it needed to soften again. So I've gotten to my right side. I'm gonna continue alternating the direction of the curling here. So I'm opening this curling iron and pulling it toward my face, curling it toward my face, starting at the root and just feeding the ends in if they need it. And so on this side, just grabbing smaller sections, kind of a top layer and then the lower layer. And this side tends to curl up really easily for me anyway. So all I'm gonna do is put the curling iron in at the root, bend it. I can see that the hair is already bending around the iron naturally. So I'm gonna just drop it out. I left the ends out completely, but since I revived that top curl pattern, it twisted the hair enough to make it look like I curled the whole thing. But you saw, I left the ends totally out. So I'll show you again here. I've got a bend here on the ends, but it's the root area that needs refreshing. So I'm putting the curling iron in. Sounds like it needs a little oil at the gears. Giving it a bend. This is already twisting as if I've curled it, because I have. Dropping it out, and it looks like a totally uniform curl, even though I did nothing to the ends. If it helps you, use duckbill clips or jaw clips or bobby pins or anything you need to divide off your hair. I'm pretty comfortable just grabbing the sections, and I know what I've curled and what I haven't curled, but if that's complicated for you, it's worth the time to use duckbill clips because you'll just have such an easier time knowing if you've curled a section or if you haven't. And there's no point in curling it twice. You're doing extra damage, and then you'll have an uneven curl pattern. So around the face, I like these to be really soft. That's all I'm doing. I just bent it away a little bit. I'm gonna pull it with my hands so it softens out. And then this kind of shorter, certainly not a bang, but a shorter face frame area here. I'm not even gonna close the iron all the way. I'm opening it, aimed back towards my face, closing it just a turn, and I'm opening it back up again. So I have a really soft bend. It's hitting me in the eyeball. I brush that out right away. And then I start to see how that curl looks. That's exactly how I wanted it to look. So another thing that can happen, especially on day 2 or 3, is this part can look flat. You can see it looks like it almost caves in there. So I'm just gonna grab this curl, lift it up, take the curling iron, and press it under the hair, smoothing down. And now I've added a little bit more life there. So a really simple tip, you can do that anywhere. If the back of your hair creases or has weird partings from sleeping on it, just use a curling iron like this. In fact, mine does. I'm glad I said that. So let me grab this section. Just grab a section, put your curling iron against your root area, not your scalp, just your root area, and glide down the hair shaft. Comb it out. And you should be nice and revived up there. So my hair's all curled. I did not cut it shoulder length, even though I did have my hair this length for a while and I loved it. Usually on day 2 or 3, I try not to add a lot more product into my hair. I'm a product junkie. You may know this about me. So I've got plenty of leftover to get me through. I'll usually do a flexible soft hairspray, but you can see I'm just running my hands through all of my curls to soften everything up. I'm really happy with that Bumble spray. Gosh, you gotta try that. It looks so volumized and it's like very old hair. So what I'm gonna do here is just tease the back a little bit. I can see in my mirror behind me, that one, that this curl needs a little extra love right at the root. So I'm gonna do that. I'll tease it a little bit, finish with a very soft mist, mostly sprayed into the air, of hairspray around my hair just for a little extra hold, and then get on my day. So my finishing spray of choice is Amika's Fluxus. I love this for a flexible hold. And again, I'm not trying to go heavy here. I've got a lot of product in my hair already, but I just need to mainly make sure the hair doesn't lay on my face all day. Okay, that's it. So this is day 3, revived, refreshed. You'd hardly know it was day 3, right? I hope so. I'm feeling pretty good about the products I use and how bouncy and fresh it looks. So I hope these tips helped you if you are either trying to go a few days between washing your hair, or you do that already and you just want your hair to look a little bit better when you're restyling. I have to say too, if you can't go more than 1 day between washing your hair, it's fine. Just use a good conditioner, maybe use a hair oil, leave-in treatment, anything to keep your ends healthy and fresh. But a lot of people can't go more than 1 day. So don't feel bad about yourself if you can't do that. If you can, do it and figure out a system that works for you.